don't underestimate women and the growing support they're providing to the WNBA. Remember, anything successful, you usually have the women behind it supporting the product.
Don't underestimate the NBA subsidizing.
The NBA and the NFL went to another level once they appealed more to women. What if the women decide we gonna focus and lock in on the WNBA?
No, the NFL started growing once they implemented what's called cheerleaders.
Before we open up this enormous developing story, leave a quick comment and tell us how long you have supported Caitlin Clark and which opponent you most enjoy seeing her compete against. Share your answer below, because today's situation has turned into a full-scale public relations disaster for the WNBA. The league office now appears to be dealing with one of the most serious media emergencies it has faced in years. Tension has reportedly been building out of public view for weeks, but a supposed leaked locker room recording has now blown the controversy wide open across the sports world. Anyone who believed the hard contact and heated confrontations on the court would remain the biggest storyline of the season may need to reconsider. An unconfirmed account of an emotional post-game outburst allegedly involving Brittney Griner has spread rapidly online, largely because of one disputed statement being attributed to her. "I'm a grown man." The recording itself has not been independently authenticated yet. The reaction surrounding the claim has become so intense that NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is reportedly facing pressure from television executives to become directly involved. There is now speculation about possible suspensions, urgent meetings among senior officials, internal reviews, and an aggressive communication strategy designed to prevent the controversy from damaging the league's rapidly increasing audience. Then, at the exact moment it seemed the story had reached its limit, Caitlin Clark returned and delivered the kind of performance that made the league's next decision almost impossible to avoid. Stay with us because every major angle of this situation deserves attention. To understand why everything has reached this point, we first have to examine the central figure behind the WNBA's recent surge, Caitlin Clark. The relationship between Clark and several established veterans has become one of the most combustible and widely analyzed subjects anywhere in professional sports. Nearly every time she takes the court, Clark is met by unusually forceful defense.
Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league, her rookie year.
Wow.
Outstanding. She's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. Didn't win a national championship. Lost to LSU one year. We lost to South Carolina another year. But she's outstanding and clearly worthy of being the #1 overall pick. And what I was saying to everybody is ride the wave. Rising tide lifts all boats. The girl is spectacular. It's not like she's not a scrub. She's not only can play, she's a star caliber player who draws this attention. And maybe it's because that fan base that she has and her being a young white lady contributes to it. So what? Benefit from it. And then you have a lot of folks that have come to the defense of numerous WNBA players because they were pointing out like this has been going on before long and people are not hating on her. It's not about hating on her. It's that you feel she is getting a level of attention that you deserve.
Says the influence around the basket transformed this particular meeting into something much more confrontational. It stopped feeling like an ordinary regular season contest and started resembling a referendum on the direction of the league itself. Broadcast commentators quickly questioned whether the officials were allowing too much contact. While the intensity between the players created strong reactions inside both organizations, social media filled with angry posts from viewers demanding tighter enforcement of fouls and greater protection for the league's most visible stars. As the pressure increased, national sports programs devoted entire segments to the confrontation, leaving WNBA leadership scrambling to control a controversy that continued expanding with every passing hour. According to circulating but unverified accounts, that frustration later carried into the locker room after the game. No authenticated audio has been publicly established, and the alleged recording cannot be treated as confirmed evidence, but reported descriptions and secondhand transcripts have still spread widely across online platforms. People claiming to have knowledge of the scene say Griner became upset after repeated questions about officiating, aggressive defense, and the public portrayal of her playing style. During that supposed exchange, she was allegedly quoted as saying, "I'm a grown man. Stop acting like I'm not allowed to play my game." Once that wording entered the online conversation, engagement surged almost immediately. Podcast hosts, commentators, influencers, and millions of viewers began arguing over what the statement might mean. whether it had been presented accurately, and whether the surrounding context had been distorted. Within hours, the disputed claim had moved near the top of trending discussions, even though the central evidence remained unverified and the complete context was still unclear. Honestly, nobody seems to know exactly what happened.
I see somebody that's doing something wrong, so I rugby tackle, in an illegal defensive position, so I rugby tackle them. Or I see, I don't know, it's like being an offensive player and you're about to get hit by a moving screen. So instead of getting hit by a moving screen and drawing the foul, you decide to turn and shove the person setting the screen. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. Freedom of movement does not allow you to stop before contact and shove somebody. Like, it is what it is, and I'm being real. Like, this whistle is horrendously awful. Like, this is minimum flagrant one. And again, when we're talking about this could be, I don't know. Look, I don't know about Brittney Griner's intent here, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, she did the exact same thing as Caitlin Clark did to Veronica Burton. The difference is that she's obviously taller. And is there a level of responsibility that you have to have when you're a little bit taller? Yeah, there is. There absolutely is a greater level of responsibility. If you agree this is some bullshit, subscribe. We are trying to get through 60k as soon as possible. We're on 59.6k right now. Thank you guys so much for all the support, by the way. Like, nearly 100 subscribers in the last day. But we gotta be real. This, like, if you're someone that's at a height that you can very easily go and clock somebody in the face, you probably should have to be a bit more careful. But yeah, it just keeps happening. It just keeps happening with Caitlin. That Alyssa Thomas did it to Caitlin in her rookie year as well.
That uncertainty is precisely why the consequences for the organization became much more serious. The league is operating during a critical commercial period with enormous broadcast agreements, sponsorship relationships, and future revenue opportunities tied to its public image. Executives therefore faced intense pressure to keep the situation from spiraling into a lasting reputational crisis. Reports indicated that senior NBA officials, potentially including Adam Silver, were following the controversy as internal conversations focused on preserving credibility, protecting the basketball brand, and sustaining the unprecedented growth surrounding the women's game. Major outlets continued speculating about whether the response could include a formal inquiry, direct intervention from NBA leadership, disciplinary action, or new league-wide policies aimed at restoring stability. While public relations teams attempted to reduce the temperature and move attention away from the alleged locker room incident, another development emerged from within the Indiana Fever organization. Sophie Cunningham, one of Indiana's most outspoken players, and a guard whose public profile has expanded rapidly, suddenly became an important voice in the broader discussion.
I'd have fun with you. Brittney Griner, what she says, right there, watch this. Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there watching on purpose. It's very disruptive. She says WNBA games used to be a chill, quiet place. You could bring your laptop and relax, maybe even get a little work done. But now it's like there's large gatherings of people watching us from the stands. Some of them are yelling crazy shit about what they're seeing, putting unfair pressure on us to score, like we're there for their entertainment. You are. The whole thing is toxic. I saw a guy with his daughter in the crowd, both of them yelling, couldn't hear what they were saying exactly, but it was either my performance or some light racism. But here's where I'm going with this. So the WNBA says they want to get paid more. They're saying this year they're going to make $1 billion. That's what they're saying, okay? For the first time ever. Now that Caitlin Clark is hurt for 2 weeks, did you see ticket prices? Insane. Let me read you the ticket prices. After Caitlin Clark's been hurt for 2 weeks. All right? So let's go through this. Caitlin Clark absence is having an immediate impact beyond the court. According to data shared by Yahoo Sports via TickPick, prices for 2 specific Indiana Fever away games against the Chicago Sky and the Washington Mystics dropped sharply after Clark was sidelined. Before the injury, the lowest ticket available for Fever's matchup in Chicago was $86. For the game in Washington,
instead of remaining silent or allowing the franchise to rely entirely on a carefully prepared state of the current dispute. Her remarks were presented as representing players who believe the WNBA can no longer rely on temporary explanations or selective enforcement and instead needs meaningful changes to its officiating system, safety procedures, and accountability structure.
comments that some would deem controversial. She's a teammate of Caitlin Clark. She plays on the Indiana Fever. And she was the one that got into it with a player a few weeks ago where she just pointed in her direction and kept pointing in her direction. That's Sophie Cunningham. Well, anyway, she made some comments that were deemed relatively controversial about a week or so ago. I don't know when it was. And she said she wasn't backing down from her comments. And it was regarding trans athletes in women's sports. Matter of fact, she went so far as to say she doesn't think her comments were controversial at all. She shared her opinion on a polarizing topic in an interview with ESPN this week, where she claimed she felt a duty to, quote, protect young girls in a locker room, or young girls in sport who shouldn't have to go against biological men. That's what she talked about. She was asked to expand on the quote when meeting with the media on Wednesday, and she made it clear that's how she feels. Quote, "I said what I said," Cunningham told reporters. Well, rather than me just saying that, let's hear from Sophie Cunningham herself. Listen to what she had to say.
Talked about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Just can you expand your viewpoint on that?
I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
I stand with Sophie Cunningham. I stand with Riley Gaines. I stand with them both. I have 2 daughters. They don't participate in sports, but if they did, that would be my position. And I think it's important to emphasize what Sophie Cunningham said a bit further. She said, I think I'll always believe that. I think it's really important to protect children and that little girls who are also involved in that category. So I stand on what I said, and I will always believe that. She claims she's not a political person, but she does have morals and beliefs, and she will always stay true to them. When asked if her stance could negatively impact the trans community, Cunningham said she's not speaking out of hate. She doesn't dislike anyone. She says, quote, "I think there is room for absolutely everyone here, and I think there's room to love everyone. I truly think when you get people in the same room and you have conversations, you act."
That additional layer gave even more energy to a story that was already dominating the news cycle because it kept the focus on athlete safety and the responsibility of league leadership. What initially looked like one controversial post-game moment quickly developed into a much broader argument about refereeing, executive decision-making, media narratives, and the long-term welfare of players throughout women's basketball. We may now be witnessing one of the most dramatic sports media controversies of the modern era unfold in real time. A physical matchup between prominent athletes has turned into widespread speculation, possible discussions among top executives, and a relentless public argument that could influence how the league is governed and covered in the future. Now, it is time for you to weigh in. How do you think WNBA officials have handled physical contact, player protection, and the media response surrounding these disputes? Should the league immediately revise its officiating standards to better protect its biggest stars, or would that create an unfair competitive advantage? Share your opinion in the comments. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate every notification so you do not miss the next major development. Thank you for watching WNBA Spotlight Channel, and we will be back soon with another full breakdown.